All right, this is a very special video because
Yes, it is.
Badake and I have been spending the last 3-ish to 4-ish weeks
Nearly a month.
scouting the 2023 quarterback class, okay? And now we're going to basically bring a watch list for you. And really the reason behind this video is maybe you guys struggle watching college football. Well, what if we talk about the 2023 class, guys that you could be drafting next year in rookie and startup drafts, and get you hyped up on them. Give you a little watch list, a little breakdown of this class.
That's right, baby.
So we have not shown each other our rankings. We have not talked about the players because I didn't want any influence from him. I didn't want to influence him either. You know, same way, back and forth. And this is the first time that we're going to see each other's scouting grades, if you will, on these players. So I'm going to go ahead and paste mine into the document, Badake.
And I'll go ahead and also paste mine.
So essentially, we looked at 10 quarterbacks. We scouted 10 quarterbacks from this class. I have 4 different tiers of those quarterbacks personally. Guys that I think, and I'll explain those tiers here in a second.
Yep.
But hopefully at this point in the video, we can put up a graphic where we both have our rankings right now. Now, please keep in mind that a lot of things could change.
100%.
For example, there are players like DJ Ungalele. I don't know if I'm saying that right, okay?
Ugalele.
But watching him, I could see there were so many things that did not go his way. The offensive line was terrible. Okay, play calling didn't really suit his strengths. He got rocked week 1 versus Georgia, best defense in the country. So right now, I might have him ranked as my 9th quarterback, but that doesn't mean that he's going to finish there, okay? I think he still has a great opportunity to take a next step this year. But just so you guys are aware, how we do our film sessions, if you will, we watch individual games, okay?
Yep.
We have links to those games. We'll write down notes at certain time codes. We grade players on 10 different attributes, okay? Athleticism and mobility, arm strength, arm accuracy, poise and pocket presence, their size. So do they have NFL size? How well do they take care of the ball? Do they avoid turnovers? How well they play in big games? Their leadership and their off-field. Is there any issues with that we should be concerned that other GMs will be looking at?
Correct.
And then we have one little section that is called the unexplainable it factor. And that basically allows us to put a little bit of our biases in it. It's only 10% of the grade. So it allows us to really, like, if we see something in a player, that's kind of our opportunity to say, we really like this player. We see a lot in him. And then the last thing that we grade them on is their combine, which won't happen for quite some time. So Badake, you can see my list there at the top. I'm now going to look at yours. So interesting.
It's actually fairly similar. Actually, not necessarily. There is
Let's start at the top. Let's start at the top.
Yeah, let's
CJ Stroud.
CJ.
For me,
wow.
I think he stands alone.
100%. He is.
I know I have Bryce in the same category, but I think for me, if I had to put money right now, who's going to be the first quarterback in next year's draft, I think CJ would have my money at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he is the most complete quarterback at this moment. And I think what he's done, the throws that he's made, his accuracy, everything that we grade him based off of, I think he is up there. You know, he has minimal things to improve on. And I cannot wait to see that. But I mean, hey, Bryce is the close second.
Just quickly on CJ, the one thing I wanted to say about him, for me, by far the thing that stood out the most about CJ, and this is something that you don't see with all the guys in this class, is his poise and pocket presence. Okay, he knows how to take command of a pocket. Consistently shows that he can go through his progressions. Not every quarterback in this class is able to read through multiple progressions, multiple reads on a play, So that was super impressive. I mean, he's not necessarily bullied in the pocket. He's got really big size, very good in the pocket. And also, he's able to use his legs a little bit and escape if he needs to. He's not necessarily a mobile runner.
Exactly. But he can use it when he wants to, like when he has that opportunity. So I completely agree. This guy is, in my opinion, the solidified 101 in drafts. the solidified in the NFL draft, not Dynasty in rookie drafts, but he is the solidified 101 in the NFL draft, and I'm really excited about him.
A lot of things could change. Okay, a lot of things could change, but at this moment, CJ seems like from a size, IQ, arm strength, arm accuracy, touch, from everything, it feels like he's the most complete quarterback in this class, and it's a pretty good quarterback class. Let's talk about Bryce Young. And by the way, guys, we are planning on making individual videos on these players so we can spend more time on them. Bryce Young, for me, I have him in that tier 1 because he's from Alabama. That's going to get a lot of love from NFL GMs. He's had a really good season. But he worries me a little bit more than CJ Stroud. And I'll just say one thing in particular is his size. Badake. I mean,
a smaller guy for sure.
I know that sometimes they put those measurements a little bit higher. I don't know that he's 6 foot. That's what they have him measured at. Around 190 pounds. It just worries me. I mean, there's quite a few plays where I see him getting bullied in the pocket. And also, he's not really able to see over the offensive line like some of the other guys in this class, which leads to a lot of passes getting bat down.
Exactly.
But he's an accurate passer. The size just worries me a little bit. I think a little bit of Tua. Like will GMs be a little bit thrown off because of how much Tua's size has kind of been a problem in the NFL. So where do you stand with Bryce?
I'm right there with you. Once again, he's a close second behind CJ. One of my main notes was his size, 6 foot. They say. I do believe he's probably like 5'11", maybe even 5'10" in some inches or some, just that little bit. I don't know if when he comes to the combine and he gets measured, that
what will it officially be?
What is going to officially be? And I think that's going to be the talk coming for Bryce. Coming into the NFL or coming into the NFL draft, he's a short quarterback. He kind of peeks over sometimes over his offensive lineman when you see him, kind of like what Drew Brees used to do, and then throw the ball. And like you said, it affects his accuracy, it affects his vision.
Yeah,
it makes him. I think,
he's even smaller than a guy like Tua. I mean, you look at the small quarterbacks. He's more the Drew Brees size.
Yeah, he is, which is fine.
It's just, you can overcome because. He's he's got great IQ, great touch on the ball, 5-star recruit, great athleticism. The arm strength, for me, it wasn't as strong as CJ's. In fact, it wasn't even the second strongest arm in this class, but that's not everything from a quarterback
He still has a good arm, and I do believe he throws the ball with ease. But yes, he doesn't have the second best arm in this class. I agree. 100% about that.
Okay, so my third quarterback in this class is Tyler Van Dyke. Is that yours as well?
That is also my quarterback, a guy I was completely surprised about. I mean,
same. I was not expecting to feel this way about Tyler Van Dyke.
100%. And there's so many notes I want to go to. Honestly, let's just go straight to a 4-star recruit. He also played baseball in high school, which is really amazing.
And you can see that on film too.
And you can definitely see that. And another key thing, in my opinion, is what's happening in Miami. The head coach, Mario Cristobal, he was the guy in Oregon that kind of developed Justin Herbert. And there's already a lot of similarities, a lot of talk saying that, hey, Tyler Van Dyke has similar traits, has a similar build of Justin Herbert. Not saying he's going to be Justin Herbert, not saying that these are things that happen, but with the mindset of the head coach now, who developed Justin Herbert to be who he is now, Tyler Van Dyke, in only his first year, basically his first year starting this past year, I mean, it's going to be a massive, massive leap for him. A lot of expectations. He threw 300-plus yards in 6 games in a row. He was the ACC Rookie of the Year. This guy is incredible, in my opinion. I
agree.
Yeah, he's amazing.
So 6 interceptions, which is what you want to see. He only played 9 games. So the numbers that you see from him last year aren't going to blow you away like guys like CJ and Bryce.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, he only played 9 games. You can see that he played baseball in his arm.
The way he throws the ball, he does it like a little sign.
One thing I wrote down, Badake, is some players have touch. Some quarterbacks have touch. Some players don't. Think about Dwayne Haskins. Had a rocket arm. Couldn't touch, couldn't have that touch, the NFL touch that you needed, I wrote down he can zip it, lob it, float it, flick it, and zing it.
Dip, dive, dodge.
I know, I thought of dodgeball in that moment, but I mean, really, he's got all the touch that you want from an NFL quarterback. It's quite impressive.
He is impressive.
And the other thing, similar to CJ, his pocket presence was very impressive to me. I think it is game-changing NFL pocket presence. He can stand in the face of defender, take the pressure, and still deliver a perfect pass. I saw that multiple times on film. For him, the games that I watched was versus Pittsburgh last year, Florida State, NC State, and I saw that in every single one of those games. There's definitely things that he needs to work on. But yeah, I did love Tyler Van Dyke. Again, we're gonna make individual videos about these guys, and you guys can see the rest of our list. But what we wanted to do, because if we went through all these guys right now, this would probably take an hour at least. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring two categories to you guys today. Number one is a quarterback that could take the biggest leap this year, and number two is the quarterback that we are the most skeptical of. Okay, and I'll start with my quarterback that I think could take the biggest leap this year, and that is Anthony Richardson. As of right now, he was the 4th graded quarterback in my scouting grades. Okay. Anthony Richardson. So let's talk about him for a little bit. 4-star recruit. The kid is from Gainesville, and he's playing in Gainesville, Florida. Hometown kid. At this moment with Anthony, it's more what could be rather than what we have seen consistently. He's only started one game in his career this far. Last year, Emory was starting most of those games. Yep. But my goodness, the intangibles are there for Anthony Richardson. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to show film on this video because it would be taken down. But let's talk about it. Number one, his mobility. He excels in the run game. Really good strength, big body, high IQ runner. And more importantly, I think he uses his body language really well. The head fakes, the quick movements, the flinches, that really puts defenders off and keeps the D guessing. Number two, his arm talent. Now, yes, he's a mobile guy, but he's a better passer than he is in the run game. And that's kind of what that's ideally what you want. You want someone whose arm talent more outshines their mobility if they're a mobile quarterback. Right. But similar to a guy like Tyler Van Dyke, I mean, he can make any NFL throw required. He's got the lobs. He's got the flicks. He's got a good zip in the intermediate to short passes. Hasn't had a lot of chances to showcase it, but I think his arm strength is up there with some of the best in this class. Yeah. And we haven't seen his accuracy consistently yet. That's been a big problem. But he's also, again, only started one game. It's hard for someone to kind of step into the role in and out of a game. But he has high IQ, and he's able to read multiple reads in one play. He's able to read through multiple progressions. And that, for me, makes me feel like he's going to improve his accuracy a lot this year. Despite not having a lot of starting experience in college, his pocket presence was very impressive to me as well. Yeah. Wasn't really afraid to make those throws with a defender in his face. He's able to trust the pocket, where you look at other guys in this class, for example, someone like Spencer Rattler, for example. I don't feel like he was really able to trust the pocket. He would get out of the pocket way too early when there was a good, clean pocket there to operate with. Right. Whereas guys like Anthony, I think, are really good in that area. And the last thing is he's got the NFL size. 6'4" frame, big, strong body.
He's massive, bro.
Reminds me a little bit of Cam Newton as far as his body.
That's exactly what I was going to say. No doubt.
I don't think he plays like Cam Newton necessarily.
I think he has
the frame is there. Yeah, exactly.
It's a frame. Like Cam, yeah. So
I would say Cam is a more mobile quarterback. He's better on the ground. But I would say Anthony definitely has better arm talent than what Cam Newton had in college. Okay. So, yeah, there are some worries. He definitely needs to turn the ball over less. But again, this is someone who hasn't started more than one game. So let's give him a chance to have a full offseason. I've loved what I've seen from him from spring training. But for me, Anthony Richardson, I think he could take the biggest leap this year. And I don't think it's crazy, Badake, for me to say that he, outside of CJ, I think he has the best chance to go 101. Really. If it's not CJ, I think it's Anthony Richardson. Okay. And that's because of the leap I think that he could potentially take. Think about what happened to Cam Newton when he landed at Auburn. He wasn't really on draft boards, but then we saw the talent, and he ended up going first overall. I think most likely scenario is that he's the third quarterback in this class because there's more film on CJ and Bryce. There will be at that point, but it would not surprise me if Anthony Richardson is a top 5 pick next year. It really wouldn't surprise me. That's the kind of leap I think he could take.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? Maybe let me go to my skeptical player because it is Anthony Richardson. And everything that you were saying, you know, I completely agree. And one thing I had to say in my notes when I think about Anthony Richardson is that he just needs more reps. He needs to show me. He needs to show the NFL, all these teams, that he knows how to throw the ball. We saw very, very minuscule sample of that, and I'm not saying that can't improve or he doesn't have that.
Sure.
I think I won't be surprised if he is in the top 3, or if he in the top 3 of my rankings coming into the offseason of next year, or he's going to be in my bottom. My bottom 3,
Okay.
because like I do believe in the talent. He's incredible.
Sure.
Everything you said, the legs, the arms. He probably does have one of the most craziest arms in this class.
Yeah.
But I just need to see more reps. And
Sure.
if he does struggle this year, because with his accuracy, with his pocket presence, with his ball placement, then I can see him falling. And that, mind you, this is one season. This is gonna. I feel like this has to be the make or break season for him. So let's just say.
Sure.
They played 10 games.
Well,
and
he doesn't have to come out this year. He's eligible, but he doesn't have to come out this year.
And I actually believe that he'd probably come out next year, the year after. I think that would be
I think
smart
he'll
for
come
him.
out this year, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I think for me, it's like, hypothetically, they played 10 games, and only 5 of those games he has a really good game, and the rest he really struggles. That's going to hurt his film, in my opinion. And
Sure.
I feel like he has to have a good overall season. Every single game, there has to be improvement. There has to be a big play. There has to be a big throw. And I'm not saying that he can't do that. I'm saying I don't know if I want to bank on Anthony Richardson being that guy going into next year.
Sure.
But completely agree on his talent. Completely agree on everything you were saying. He is an incredible, incredible talent. He does remind me of Cam Newton.
The hard thing with what you're saying there is, like, how is he supposed to prove that to you right now?
No,
He can't.
exactly.
So,
And I completely
I'm not
agree.
sure that there's anything that he could have done this year to do that. I mean, he didn't get a chance to start. He wasn't the starter. He was thrown in and out of games sporadically.
No doubt.
Not really put in the best situation. So I think give him an entire year as the guy, an entire offseason leading the offense. I think you're going to see great things from him. And the reason that I think he can really improve with his consistency is because of how good his IQ is. He's able to read 3 to 4 receivers on a play. He's not a one-read guy, and I think that's where you're going to see him get a little bit more composure, a little bit, more comfortable with this offense, and I think he's going to shine. But I can understand the concerns.
Yeah.
You talked about the player you're most skeptical of. For me, I think the easy answer is Phil Dracovic. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's not, for me.
Yeah.
And that might be rude to say, but he's a guy for me. I think he should be a tight end. He runs really strong in the open field.
Okay.
But he doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the arm accuracy to be an NFL quarterback, a starting NFL quarterback. I think about Logan Thomas a little bit. Like what, and also I think of Tim Tebow when he's in the open field. What if Tim Tebow and Logan Thomas made the transition to tight end when they entered the NFL?
Yeah.
What could they have been? So Dracovic, to me, he's not a starting NFL quarterback. But that was my easy answer. My hard answer here is Will Levis. I know a lot of people are really high on Will Levis. They love him. I am not one of those people. And I think there's a couple things here. There was a lot of RPOs in Kentucky's offense, a lot of RPOs.
Yep.
And that worries me about how that would transition to the NFL. Secondly, I feel like on film, I saw a lot of people win for him. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson was winning a lot of plays for Will Levis. A lot of stats were given to him by players on his team. What will happen this year? Can he be the reason that the offense is more successful? And I don't think that he shows all that good of an IQ from a quarterback. He also doesn't, he's a mobile quarterback, but he doesn't use his mobility to extend plays. I don't see a lot of broken down plays where he's behind the line using his mobility, those Patrick Mahomes, those Russell Wilson type plays. I don't see a lot of those where he's using his legs to extend the play. It's mostly like, oh, okay, is my read not there? All right, let me take it off. Let me run here. Right. So for me, I'm worried a little bit about him. I don't love his pocket presence. And also, he's not really throwing at high volumes when they're a successful offense. So I'm not so certain that he should be considered a round 1 prospect just yet. For me, I think there's going to have to be a lot of improvements, specifically with his IQ, his ability to read a defense, his pocket presence. And I'm not so certain that this mobility really transitions in the NFL. It's the same thing I said about Matt Corral. Like, yes, he can do it in college, some of it's scripted, but I'm not sure it's going to be a pillar of his game in the NFL. So for me with Will, I'm just not sure that there's enough of a package there for me to really consider him a round 1 talent. At this point, I would have a round 3 grade on him for the NFL draft. So
okay,
I'm not as excited about him as other people.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I love Will Levis. He's my QB5. But a QB I think that can take the biggest leap, and I said this earlier, is Tyler Van Dyke. You know, he's a guy that has tremendous upside. He's currently my QB3. I will not be surprised if teams will take him over Breece. Honestly, and that may sound crazy, but I do believe
Breece Hall, running back Breece Hall.
Sorry, Bryce Young. Hey, Breece Hall. To be once again, to be fair, we only saw 10 games, and I believe there's going to be pressure and expectations of him to follow these Justin Herbert footsteps. You know, and I
Sure.
like what we saw from him. His accuracy is there. His pocket presence. Everything. His arm strength. I think he's even fast. He uses his legs as well. We didn't see it often. But I do believe he could be a dual threat quarterback if they do use him in the right way. He's not fast. I think he's probably going to run, in my opinion. I wrote it down. His 40 time. Yeah,
he looks a little robotic to me.
Yeah, his 40 time won't
running.
be crazy. 4.6, 4.8. I see around there in his 40 time. Maybe he can improve that coming into this year. But everything that I saw from Tyler Van Dyke and once again, it may not be a big leap, but he's my QB3. But to even jump Bryce Young, excuse me, I think that would just be a massive leap in general. So, because a lot of people don't know about Tyler Van Dyke. A lot of people have Tyler Van Dyke as their quarterback 5 or their quarterback 6, where we both have him third. So
yeah, I feel like the reason I didn't put him there is I feel like he kind of already took a leap this year, like, you know, from what we've seen. But I agree, like there could be an even bigger leap this year. Mm-hmm. I would say on the mobility side, I don't think that's going to be a big part of his game in the NFL personally.
Right.
He looks super robotic out of the pocket. He does not look like some of these other mobile guys in this class. But I will say, opposite to Will Levis, Tyler does use his mobility to extend plays, to get the best out of a play, to try and find, you know, the open wide receiver downfield, which I didn't see from Will all that much. And you know, that's really what I'm looking for from a guy with his mobility, because a lot of the modern day NFL quarterbacks are able to do things like that. So, I like Tyler Van Dyke for sure.
Yeah.
Tanner McGee is interesting.
Tanner McGee
did not
is very
have
interesting.
a lot of talent around him at all at Stanford.
Oh my goodness. But that arm.
He played really well. 6'6" as well, elite body size. He was the 3rd pro-style quarterback from his class out of high school, I believe, behind
Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields.
I don't think Justin Fields was a pro-style guy. I can't remember who the other guy was, but yeah, he's very interesting. I mean, he could be another guy who ends up being a round 1 player. That would not surprise me.
He'll be an older quarterback as well. He took a 21-month missions trip to Brazil with his church, and he had melanoma. I don't know if you know that.
Shout out to melanoma.
I think it's melanoma, the skin cancer. Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. Skin cancer at age 16.
Oh, okay. I did not know what melanoma is.
Is it melanoma? I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he has a skin cancer. He had a skin cancer when he was 16. So when you see him like in games, he's wearing long sleeve. He's really just protecting his skin. But I mean,
I did not know that. I'm really sorry for saying that. That's quite insensitive.
No. I get you though. Like I just said no. But yeah, I think everything from Tyler McGee, I think, is also incredible. He's also in my top 5. Tanner, excuse me. He's also in my top 5. So
you know, we couldn't talk about all these guys. I will say DJ. I'm not ready to give up on DJ yet. I've talked about that. I think all the intangibles are there. Let's see if they can really help him succeed this year. Spencer Rattler. I don't think he's going to be a round 1 quarterback, but I think he could be like a round 2 guy. So let's see what he does in South Carolina.
I actually don't think I don't think he's ready at all. And I was watching some stuff. Obviously, we were scouting these guys, and it's hard not to talk bias about him because of QB1. So I've really tried to take that away.
I didn't see that. That's what I was very specific about. I don't want to have any biases on him when watching his film.
The thing is though with Spencer is that, like, when you break it down, I watched this video of somebody breaking it down. I think it was QB School, somebody that I really liked, and he was saying that, like, he doesn't know how to stay in the pocket. He can't read, and he can't read defenses. He doesn't know when his guy is going to be open, and I think that's a huge part. Like, he doesn't know how to quarterback at all. He knows how to stay in the pocket and throw the ball. His talent is there. It's his mind.
I would disagree there.
It's his mind. I believe that is not ready. And can that?
Well, you're saying he. At first, you're saying he can't stay in the pocket, and now you're saying he can stay in the pocket. So which one is it?
Wait,
can he or can he not stay in the pocket?
I said he can't. Like, he can't stay in the pocket. He doesn't know how to read the defenses. He can't throw the ball.
You just maybe made a mistake. Like, you said something there. So with Rattler, I agree. Like, he absolutely thrives when he's not in the pocket. He thrives on broken plays. Now, all the intangibles are there. He just needs someone to coach him up. Okay, the arm strength is there, the mobility is there, the accuracy is there at times. It's not consistent, but all the intangibles are there. Doesn't have the biggest size like some of the other guys in this class, but for me, I'm not so certain that everything was on him. I don't think that the play calling was all that good. You have to obviously give the edge to Lincoln Riley there because he's made multiple Heisman quarterbacks.
Yep, exactly.
But I'm not ready to give up on Spencer Rattler just yet. I still think that the intangibles are there. Can he put it all together? And I'm hoping that this is kind of taking him down a notch with the humility. Hopefully he's going to be able to become a more humble quarterback, and he's going to be able to take coaching, because with what we saw from him, you know, on quarterback one, on social media, he did not look like a very coachable player. So I'm hoping that if he's really putting in the work this offseason, that he's able to grow in those areas where, you know, he's not so strong right now, reading defenses, you know, the IQ part of the game, more specifically his footwork. His footwork is not where it needs to be right now.
He's stepping back too much.
If he can improve those things, then I think he absolutely has a chance to be an NFL quarterback. The upside is still there. It's just we have not seen it from Rattler. So I'm not ready to give up on him. Devin Leary is a guy really accurate, really smart.
Yeah. I mean, my guy had a crazy year.
Just doesn't feel like a starting quarterback to me.
Same. I completely agree. Devin Leary, DJ, Phil, Spencer, all those guys in the second tier from my 7 to my 10 don't feel like starting quarterbacks at this moment. I'm happy for them to take a leap and to do something coming into next year.
I'll say the only player that on my list who I think absolutely doesn't have a chance to be a starting quarterback is Phil Jerkovich. Okay. So everyone else, I think they have a chance.
Definitely see it.
I'm not saying they will, but I'm not ready to rule them out as starters yet.
Okay. I hear you.
You know, maybe Devin, but that's just because I don't think all the intangibles are there, but he's a really smart guy, so that could work.
Devin could be a good backup, I think. You know, Phil, maybe he does transition to tight end. Who knows? DJ, I'm not giving up on DJ. I think I've already given up on Spencer. But if, once again, talent's there, can he get the IQ up? Can he be teachable? And I think that's really hard, in my opinion, but we'll definitely wait and see coming into this year. But everyone else, I'm really excited. My 1 to 5, wow.
Yeah, same. I would agree. My 1 to 5: CJ, Bryce, Tyler Van Dyke, Anthony Richardson, and Tanner McGee. Will Levis isn't on that 1 to 5 for me though.
Yeah, Will is my 1 to 5. Anthony is not, but hey, it's good.
That's all right. Let us know in the comments below, guys, what you think. Hopefully, this helps you get excited for college football this year,
2023
for the draft next year. Again, we will do individual videos on these guys here coming soon. So. Comment down below.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam.